Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. It's July 8th. Hope everybody had a good long weekend for the 4th of July. I know I did. Yesterday, I had a very friendly estate planning client ask me what percentage of Americans or what percentage of people do I think have a will? And I had to admit I have no idea. But I told her, thank you for inspiring me because I have to come up with a video every week. So this will be a good thing to talk about. So I did some online research and there are some surveys here. According to a recent Caring.com survey, 32% of Americans had a will. She guessed 30, so great guess if you're watching this. 41% of people between the ages of 18 and 34 have never discussed estate planning with anybody, and 34% of people between 35 and 54 have never discussed estate planning with anybody. 52% of people don't know where their parents store their estate planning documents. 60% of people without a will reported not taking any action to create a will and also haven't made a living trust or any other estate planning documents. 18% of people don't know what an advanced healthcare directive is. Only 46% of executors were aware of a will. That one goes along with the fact of people not knowing where their parents store their estate planning documents. So one of the things I tell people to do is, I keep digital copies of everything, but I give them their originals. We have a huge problem with older lawyers used to keep copies of everybody's estate planning documents and they died or retired and people have a hard time finding these. So all my originals go out with the clients, but I say, and I stress to my clients, make sure you tell your executor that these documents exist, they're in this binder, and here's where we keep them. Okay, so whether or not they actually do that, I can't say, but the instructions are given from me. 32% of adults under the age of 35 said they wrote a will because of the COVID pandemic. Americans who dealt with a serious case of COVID, these surveys must have been around COVID time. Americans who dealt with a serious case of COVID are 66% more likely to have a will. So the answer is 32% of Americans. I will say, going to the COVID statistics, most people that come in to do their estate planning, I would say mention a family member having recently died and not having their stuff in order, or somebody having a close call with death, or usually there is something that triggers people to finally take care of it. I'd say most of the time what people tell me is that, their mom or their dad or their uncle or their friend's parents died and they had this whole mess and they don't want to make it that way for their kids. Some more stats here on this study. So age 72 plus, it goes up quite a bit. 81% of those surveyed had a will. Between the ages of 55 and 71, 45%. Between the ages of 35 and 54, 27%. And between the ages of 18 and 34, 24%. I will say very often I have like a young professional couple or guy come in here, or girl, and I'm very pleasantly surprised that they're taking care of this at such a young age. There's a lot of interesting stats here. Let's see, what else? 63% of people who don't make more than 80K a year say they don't have time to create a will. 20% of people who make less than 40K annual don't believe they have enough assets to leave behind. These are other great points here. Really, I understand, and I don't feel like I'm that expensive. There's certainly online websites that do it for cheap as well. Even if you don't have a lot of assets, there's still a lot of reasons to have a will. A lot of people own homes and that's it. Probate can be a lot quicker and easier if you have a will. It's a lot harder on your children if you don't have one, because the probate's going to take a lot longer, and if you're still paying on your mortgage, people are going to have to spend money to keep that house afloat so it doesn't go into foreclosure, for example. But anyway, there's some pretty interesting statistics. 30%, I guess it's my job and others in my profession to continue getting the word out about how important this is. And that's it. Hope everybody has a great week.